I'm back again. I'm back again. No one asked, but I'm back again. And that is a pretty cool thing. I was gonna do something kind of driven by a subject. I was gonna do something driven by a subject, but instead I'm sitting here thinking, man, after starting work again, I've been on overtime non-stop and then didn't actually prepare anything, which is a bit shit. It is a bit shit, but what can I do? Not much. Well, I could probably do better, but that's not a issue for today. Instead, I'm just thinking about thinking about the fact that I have nothing prepared really, except for reflection of conversations I had at work, and the fact that gives me a story I can tell. This won't be a long one by any means, but I want to stick to my commitment of a Sunday slick ass, because my ass needs to be slick on Sunday. You know what I mean? I need a slick ass on Sunday. But the real problem is I don't even get into this shitty scenario. It all started with one woman getting It all started with a woman I was chatting to that I work with, just asking random stupid questions to me because we'd never interacted before, and it led the whole room into just discussing their wants about women, like ages, that sort of thing. And eventually that led to me having a nice interaction around the fact that I never said no to older women. In fact, like, the last people I've tried to get with have all been older than me. And that goes into just a huge thing from when I was doing my training in a different country, and holy shit, the nickname MILF Hunter has never been more applicable. And that was a fun little nickname, just because we were out on a pub crawl, and I was heavily intoxicated, and a woman walked up to me and asked me, "Am I Irish?" And I said no. She then said, "Do you want to have sex?" And I told her very proudly, I cannot perform for you, lady. I've had like 12 pints, and I did a little flick of my finger to show that I've got that whiskey dick going on. I would have said no anyways, but it's fine. I got the suggestion. She also then compared me to the fact that, like, her sister was chatting to me before then. They were both in their mid-40s. And from that, I was able to discern that her sister was mortified that even came up. And then after that, the woman that propositioned me, she just all went, "Oh, no, it's okay, it's just a joke, yeah. You remind me of my son." I was thinking, holy shit, did I reject that? That could have been the best sex of my fucking life. She asked me to fuck her, a reminder of her son. That is a fucked up specimen. I like that. I like that a lot. Mentally disturbed individual is what we need in our life every now and again. But hey ho, I dodged the bullet there. And then from then on, one of my boys, Gavin, he just called me Shagger whenever he saw me. Lads that were younger than me just called me MILF Hunter because they found it funny. And that was what I was called during graduation of that training, which was in front of our families, which was nice. I like being called MILF Hunter in front of my family. And then when Gav said goodbye to me, shook my hand, did a little bro hug. "See you, Shagger." It's like, oh, what a lad. What a lad. Breaks my heart that I won't see him ever fucking again. But no, this whole conversation around preferences and partners led to me giving this little woman a wee fright. Because she was really adamant that if you wash your bum properly, you won't be smelly. And I kept on just saying to her, you know, you could wash correctly, but if you're naturally stinky, you're gonna be stinky. And she kept on just looking at me like, no, if you wash your bum properly, it won't be stinky. And that went back and forth for a solid half an hour. And then it just stopped. The conversation dipped to anything else after that, because talking about relationships constantly, it gets tired quite fast, because if it's very funny, you'll hang on the funny stuff, and it'll just keep on going back and forth in that regard. But then about an hour later, she went to leave to do something else in terms of her tasks for the day. And she just stands up, sighs, looks to me, and goes, "You know, you've given me the fear. I think I might have a stinky bum now." It's like, holy shit, lady, you'd know if you're honking. Not only would other people tell you, you'd notice. It's not as if people with BO problems don't notice that they're stinky. Like, come on. If you have, like, bad foot odor, you'll notice that. If you have a fucking smelly fanny, you'll also notice. I'm sorry, hen. And then the last thing I told her is, like, you never know. If you go out with Captain Birdseye, he'll be a fan of that. She didn't like that comment, because it made her even more paranoid that she has a stinky fanny. But who am I to judge? You have multiple wains. You've had wonderful children come out of that stinky fanny, so you're fine. You're fine, lady. But to that degree, God, where I'm at is really weird for trying to get into relationships with anybody. Because half the people that I live around right now, because it's really rural, they're all related to one another, and I have no idea what level of inbreeding's been going on around these parts. It scares you. It scares you. There's certain regions that are known for it, and as one of my good friends Gary put it, the hills have eyes around this area. It's like, I'm sniffing what you're scratching, buying what you're selling, man. I don't like the sound of that. That's just like my whole situation right now. I'm in a house that has no heating aside from the fire. The shower's electric, so you can always get hot water in the shower if you're really desperate for a nice hot wash, which is good. It's good. But otherwise, no, you need to light some coals. You need to light some coals, some dry fuel. You need to get that going on. Otherwise, you do not get anything done that needs hot water. The radiators and the boiler, they're operated by the fire for a heat pump. It's not the cool, really noisy fuck-off heat pumps that you get outside the shops and that, and that people are getting subsidies to fit into their fucking property. No, it's the uncool. It's the very uncool heat pump that's just, your small fire can sometimes warm up the radiators. You won't feel the heat anywhere in the house. Unless it's fucking so cold that you can see your breath. If you have freezing temperatures in your house, you'll notice it's a bit warmer. Otherwise, no. It's only a problem because this building's so well insulated that I'm staying in that it keeps the cold really well. I'm not looking forward to the summer in it where it keeps the heat especially well. But when it's warm, it stays warm for the whole day. That's nice. That's kind of cool. But no, you go into this house and you have a 50-50 when you take your first step in. Are the tiles on the floor frozen or not? That is a good gamble that you get to take every day that you get home. It's a good time. But hey ho, the life situation's fun. Like, whenever I'm driving to work, I usually see a pair of deer cross the road very casually. I've never seen such calm deer in front of cars, but good lord, you can just see their eyes glinting in the night and nothing else. It's like you're seeing fucking aliens, man. They might be aliens, who knows? I don't know. I think they're deer. There's like cool owls you see every now and again. There's fucking pheasants everywhere. They like to jump in front of cars. They're not that cool. But no, it's a different life. It's a different life up in the farms. I can get to fuck at times. I mean, my main issue right now for me is that where I'm staying, the internet is part of the rental agreement. I wish I could just knock off that like 30 quid they're paying for very substandard internet and just pay the guys that install fiber, because in the area there's a setup for it. They just need to connect it to the house. It wouldn't be a long job. They've already set it up where I'm at. But no, that's part of the agreement. That's staying. That's not changing. I could complain to the landlady, but I won't, because I can't be bothered. I just want to exist peacefully until I get my own place, like actually buy a house. Which is weird to think that I can buy a house fairly soonish. Not because I've got like savings or anything, just because, good lord, the property value up here is pretty cheap for places that are generally available. There's massive estates that you can buy that no one ever really would, because there's no gain from it. You can't really do bed and breakfasts up here anymore because the market's completely overtaken by Airbnb. That being said, the actual bed and breakfasts that still operate, they've been completely bought out by construction companies for major projects that are going on in the countryside, so you can't even get away with doing a B&B right now anyway. It's better than sleeping on the streets being in this house with very poor internet and no good appliances. But that's alright. Coal's not too expensive, timber's not too expensive. I can use my phone. Use my phone for tethering. We love using our phone for tethering. I could continue going on about things that exist around this house and my living arrangement, but it has off-street parking, so I can't complain at all. Probably the best part about it is I can have my car off-street, which is a genuine issue around a lot of the place here. There's too many cars for how small it is, but it's alright. It's alright. Haven't had any fights with tractors yet, so we'll wait and see if I'm gonna lose one of those fights. But again, this isn't really a proper podcast. It's just like a vlog at this point, just talking about my life. I was gonna talk about something a lot more interesting. I have a massive note written down, a few pages in my notepad, like 3 pages of A4. But nah, that can wait for when I'm off for a couple days and I can plan it properly outside of my 12-hour shifts, which I'm doing 6 in a row soon. That's gonna be fun. We like that. But no, I'm starting to realize the more that I do these things, how much of a time commitment I do actually need to set aside to make it work. It's just a balancing act at the end of the day. One that I've not figured out. I still want to do other things. I can't do live streaming at all with my internet now, which makes me sad. Live streaming would have been handy for VOD purposes, but I guess I'll just locally record everything that I'm doing from now on, because it's physically impossible to do anything else. It's not true. It is physically possible. It'd just be dog shit and not watchable. Man, it'll be grand. It'll be grand. I'll potentially make actual normal videos in the next month. I could make short clips of repo that I think I haven't edited at all that are kind of okay. From my last video worth of repo videos, fucking hell, they were shit. They were mostly shit, but it was me drunk and thinking it was funny at the time. It was already cut up, I just had to upload it when I moved. Drinko. There'll be a Drinko 2 at some point in time. I definitely need to get together with people to do some drunk repo again. Get some better rules that are easier to adhere to depending on your budget. Budget is the main issue with Drinko, because apparently not everybody has disposable income to splash on liquor. Even if they don't live in a fucking country of minimum unit alcohol price, and I can afford my shit, it's expensive as fuck. Like, what the fuck? I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan with these fucking cheap bastards that can't even buy their cheap drink. I'll just sit here in my Tesco value margarita mix. I digress. I have nothing else interesting to talk about. I will keep going off in tangents if I let myself, but there's no point in making this less engaging than it already isn't. It is effectively just a blog. It's not an interesting blog. Blogcast.
Welcome to the bumbling blogcast featuring Step and Slick, cheesy monster himself, where he talks himself in circles and says nothing of value. Thanks for listening. Or not.
I don't recommend listening to this, man. There's like 2 people that watch this regularly. I feel bad for them. That's alright. It's alright.